Okay, here we are. It's October. I think it's October. Wait a minute. Could be the very end of September. Stay on that right quick. Oh, September 26th. Not yet October. Okay, good. Gonna warm up the engine a little bit. Hadn't been run for a couple weeks. Today's flight, pretty routine. Just going up to Urbana for a quick brunch, and maybe do a little bit of reading on the Kindle. Gonna try to find a little more inventive way of getting there again. Let's see. Winds are kind of just barely favoring runway 2 at Urbana. We usually land 2-0 because that seems to be the way things work around here. So I'm going to get on my, here it is, floor flight, and I'm going to put in a route, and it's going to be Joger to Pino to, what is that, Cebu or something like that, where I could do the procedure turn but probably won't, and on into Urbana. So, I have a new toy. What do I do with it? Got another camera that doesn't take audio input or anything like that. It's just the simplest GoPro you can get, which is fine, because I already got this one. And this one has a new power cord, which will hopefully, stress the hopefully, be more reliable than the USB plug was, and will last longer than the replacement USB plug that was actually the cigarette lighter interface that I broke in the other airplane as I was going down to Houston. So, got a new one of those. Slightly irritating. That's a $9 cable with $7 shipping. What are you going to do? Excuse me. I got some map updates to do. I might as well do that while we're sitting here. Let's see. System software, insert USB drive. I thought I'd done that, but it might be getting confused by the Wi-Fi dongle. No? We're not finding any data files? Well, heck. I'll get back to you on that. Oh, there it is. Finally, it just showed up. Oh, the maps that hadn't loaded yet. So now we have load files, so we're all set. Okay, I was panicking needlessly. Here's the one we want to insert. We're going to load that. And yes, I'm sure I want to do that. And I guess I could continue. I have this little handheld thingy here because anything I mount, this thing's going to vibrate like crazy because I have the special mount for this camera, and I've only got one of them, and they're very expensive. So the nice thing about this is, let's go ahead and try it. I think, there we go. It's got this kind of fisheye look, and there's probably a way of setting that, but I'm not sure I care. But the nice thing is, you can kind of see what I'm doing with these buttons if I'm kind of talking through something complicated and anybody even cares. Not sure one way or the other. But I do have it, so I'm going to shut that back off. That's kind of wasted footage right there. Nobody cares about the finalizing new beta screen, and this thing's going to reboot itself. So again, back in a couple minutes. It's going to have to reboot, and it takes oh, it didn't. It's just making a liar out of me every day of the week. So we got brand new maps. We're going to Urbana. We're going to do that with a route. Let's go to map. Let's go to the flight plan. Is there one in there? No, there's not. So let's go to flight plan menu, and let's insert a waypoint. And the first one, going to do, I guess I can kind of hold this here as I'm doing this. So here's another thing I can do. It's kind of glary. The first one is at Juliet Oscar Golf Echo Romeo. So let's go ahead and put that in. So that was Juliet Oscar Golf Echo Romeo. So Juliet, using this knob. Oops. Ground control cares about that, I'm sure. That woke him up. J-O-G. Oh, I'm slow. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to that one. Insert that. The next one is Pino, Papa Echo. So let's see, I go Papa. Oh, I guess I have to do a insert new or something here. Flight plan menu, insert waypoint. Here we go. Papa Echo. Going the wrong way. There we go. Echo. And I think it was, yeah, Charlie, right? Nope, it was November. LMN, there it is. We're going to insert that, and we're going to run it under here, so insert that. And then the next one, this one's kind of tricky to see. Oh, there it is. It's Cebu. So let's go down. Let's see. Flight plan menu, insert waypoint. QRS. Echo would be closer to the 0. And that's a Bravo. There it is. Insert that, and we want it right there. And then we're going to make a turn down towards Ryko. I don't know how that's pronounced. Nobody really does. Insert waypoint. So QRS, so down there. And then it was India. Yes, India, which can be up from 4. And then a low Kilo of what, you say? By JK, and then Oscar. There it is right there. Insert that one right there. And then the last one is Wannis. A weird name. I don't know what comes up with these things. It's Whiskey Alpha November India Sierra. So we're going to that. So going up to W. And actually it's probably shorter to go through the numbers to get to Alpha instead of going down. Yep, sure was. And November. And there it is. Insert that. And I think, yeah, let's put that in there. I think, I want to do KUIF. So we're going to insert KUIF. Or no, we're not. We're going to, I'm sorry. We're going to, I think we're going to India 43. No, that's not right either. Come on. India 74. So insert waypoint. And let's get down to the India. It's almost as if I didn't think this through. India 74. There's Grimes Field. I'm going to insert that. And I think there's a way of making a runway 2, but we really don't care at that point. We'll be able to see the runway. So that's enough for this guy. Let's turn him off. Okay, well, I thought I was recording as I was entering these waypoints. I was not, so we're going Joger to Pino to, and these pronunciations are approximate. Was that Cebu, Rico to Wannis to runway 2 at Urbana. So I basically just got them all in order here. We're already ready to navigate. We'll go straight to Jogger, whatever. So that's our flight plan. Whether we stick to it or not remains to be seen. We've almost got our oil temps. We're almost ready to go. So shut this down and head down to the runway. And just before I contact ground, and again, sorry about the fisheye lens, I'm going to check the weather. This is exactly what they're going to read to me. So 300 at 7 is the wind, 10 miles visibility, sky is clear, which looks to be true. 29 or 89 on the altimeter, I can go ahead and dial that in. 29 or 89er, that's up here where it says barometer. Temperature dew point, that's all good. All right, so 300 at 7, that's right down here on the chart. So we're probably going to get runway 22, which is nice. It's a shorter taxi. And that'll be a right turnout off to our flight plan. Actually, looks like we're going to have to go, well, that's not facing north. That's actually facing, what direction? That's facing northeast. So, yeah, it's going to be straight on course, basically. I think we'll probably have to go a bit more to the west. If we want to see the whole thing, we can zoom it on out here. We're going to actually make quite a turn here, but that takes us straight. Oh, what's going on here? Camera seems to have stopped working. Camera is working, it just dims the screen. This one has a little screen, and it just dims it after a moment. So anyway, it's going to be kind of a not quite straight shot, but an easy enough shot, because I really I like refreshing myself on how to put in a route and how to fly the route with the autopilot and all that, because I do get rusty at this stuff. So that's where we are with that. Okay, we're just about ready to go. I'm going to leave the camera running. My theory on the camera shutting itself off is two-pronged. One is heat, which shouldn't be a problem today. The other was that kind of wiggly power cord that I used to have in there. And hopefully the power cord is the problem, because I can't fix heat. Can't really put in air conditioner or anything. So we're about ready to go. I'm just going to leave this thing running. As I said, I'm going to give the tower a call here, and off we go. Let's see, we want to go frequency, a canopy latch check for a millionth time, fuel pump in. Okay, that's all it. We're good to go. Creep on up here. I'm ready to go. And we're now at Volt Tower. Volt Tower, experimental 284 Delta Golf, ready for takeoff. Runway 22 at Alpha 1, departing VFR southwestbound.
Experimental 284 Delta Golf, Ball Tower, turn left on course, runway 22, clear. Correction, you can proceed on course southwestbound, runway 22, clear for takeoff.
Proceed on course, clear for takeoff, runway 22 for Delta Golf. You had me guessing there for a second. I kind of thought it would be a straight out. Early morning for him too. Okay, we got a pretty decent crosswind from the right, so we'll have to adjust for that. Get on the center line, be nice. There we go. Ooh, see that kick? That's that crosswind kicking. And the nose wheel is wobbling like a son of a gun there. It just finally stopped. Alright, I'm going to proceed on straight on runway heading for now, because that's the direction I was given. And pick up the course when we get a little further southwest, because I am going to be off a little bit from this. And there's actually, if I were to turn it on course right now, it would make a pretty violent turn because we're so close to it. One thing I can do, this thing's still running. Turn this on.
Traffic.
I can go map, and I can go flight plan, thing, and go direct to. Ugh, boy, it's bumpy. Exit. And that should have straightened that out, so now I can go nav, autopilot. And I'm going to continue to fly pitch myself for a second here. Because, well, autopilot's actually trying to. That's interesting. I didn't turn on altitude mode. I might as well. There we go. And that'll settle it all out. Yeah, things have settled down. There was a little weirdness there. It's better now. For some reason, I must have left vertical speed at 100 foot per minute up, because usually it defaults to 600. This time it did 100, so we were going a little fast, and autopilot was having trouble keeping up. So that was an easy fix. We're climbing up to 3,500. We're now on course for Jogger, and you can see that we have a very healthy crosswind. And this thing is flapping around kicking me, so I might want to fasten that down. That's just my headset holder for when I'm not wearing them. And there we go. So we're on course. There's not much to do really, but monitor what the autopilot does and kind of keep my hands near the stick in case it gets choppy.
87 Victor. 27087 Victor, Ball Tower.
87 Victor, Mike 20 Charlie, about 15 miles to the southeast, inbound landing bolt.
87 Victor, report midfield left downwind to runway 22, wind 3109er, gust to 16, altimeter 29902.
That's 2 port midfield downwind for 22, moving 87 Victor.
Okay, so it is a bit windy as we can tell. Gusting 16, which is no big deal. Well, it's a deal, but not a big deal. How's that sound? It's a very clear day. Oh, that's the other thing I can do with this little guy. There we go. You get to look around a little bit. Now it's that fisheye lens, so everything looks a zillion miles away. But you can see how nice and clear the day is. It's pretty smooth since we got up above that ground turbulence. That was basically wind, I guess. It's nice and smooth now, so there's not a lot of thermal activity. It's just wind blowing around. We got how long to go before Jogger? We're going to be to the next waypoint 7 minutes. And it's going to take us a half hour to get to Urbana because of the long about route that I'm taking. Like I said, I may discontinue that at any moment. There's no real reason to go all the way out to Jogger. What I could do is flight plan, Pinot, and let's say we just got vectors direct to that. So there we go. So we don't have to go all the way out there. We can just go straight at Pinot if we want to. And since we're really not flying instruments and we can do any damn thing we want, that's what I'm going to do. Wow, 99 knots. Okay. It's a bit of a wind. All right. Well, let's see turn this back on again, and we'll look up how to find the radio frequency at Urbana so we can start listening to the Unicom. And we'll start the camera recording. There we go. So we're going to go to info. And I got to go back to, I was on the intersection. I got to go back down to, actually I don't know if I've ever done, there's India 74. and we're going to go to comms, and we have an AWAS, so let's go ahead and hit the tune comm button, and that'll move it in right there, which you probably can't read. Those LEDs are probably flickering. Just bring that over. And then Unicom will turn in for when we're ready for it. And now we're going to go exit, get back to the map.
Zulu, weather, wind, 320, at 6, visibility, 10, clear, below, 12,000, temperature.
All right, so 320 at 6 is going to put us on runway 2.
Altimeter, 290.
Turn the damn thing off. There we go. I got a new altimeter setting, 39901, or 29901.
Grimes Field, Urbana Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation, 1357, Zulu, weather, wind, 320, at 6, visibility, 10, clear, below, 12,000, temperature, 18 Celsius, dew point, 13, altimeter, 29994.
Oh, 29994, I did misheard that. Okay, there we go.
Grimes.
Enough of that. We know our runway. And we are set up for runway 2. We started out that way because I looked at the weather before I left. So we got 8 minutes from Pino.
Traffic air traffic Joy Pop climbing above the field, 3 to the east, inbound landing Urbana.
Okay. 3 to the
Traffic, Skyhawk 4600 Golf is base, left base 28 Delaware.
Green County traffic, Baron 1 Juliet Bravo, taxi for 7 from the...
So let's take a look at this now. So you can see what we're going to do here is we're going to come along and make a big right turn around this lake, and you can see the lake right out there, and just a little bit, you won't be able to see it unless you get out a magnifying glass of some sort, but you can see the airport. So we're just going to come right along the tracks, make a turn around that lake, and there's the airport.
Delaware traffic, Skyhawk 4600 Golf, turning downwind 28.
All right, minute and a half till our next turn, which will be not a very big one. It's maybe a 10-degree turn at the most. But that is an initial approach fix, and what we would do then is go to sub-U and do that procedure turn and head straight on in, but we're not going to do that. We're going to pretend that we don't have to do that, and by pretend I mean we actually don't have to do that. We can do anything we want.
Hey, Charlie Tango, short final, 28 Delaware.
Still Delaware. Everything's Delaware today. Camera's still working. Oh, there's the Springfield. I want to get a picture of that.
North Alpha's departing to the west.
That's Clark County Fairgrounds, big city of Springfield right there. And I can see from here that they have lots of camping spots. There's I think three trailers. Well, one's a fifth wheel, and then maybe one smaller trailer down there. And of course, that's important to me because that's where we tend to stay. We don't need pools and tennis courts and gymnasiums and all that. We just need water, electric, and sewer. And the campgrounds at the state parks, the county fairgrounds, generally have that stuff for $25 to $30 a night, which is relatively cheap for a campground that has full service, and it's never crowded. And I've said before, my kind of crowd is no crowd at all. So Clark County is one I haven't looked at yet. Not every fairgrounds, some of them can be very small. We were just up in Medina over the weekend with the camper, and we had to pay a resort-style campground. It wasn't a resort. They had a pool and things like that. So
working about 4 miles east of
Medina County Fairgrounds was so small that there were no campsites. So we had to pay a little bit extra, which is no big deal. But if I'm not there for the amenities, I'm there for the services. So it's nice to know that we can go over to Clark County if we ever want to.
Traffic. Light support 178 Charlie Tango, entering left downwind.
What the hell is going on in Delaware? All right, we got another turn in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That'll put us on our approach course.
Hawk 4600 Golf is turning final 28 Delaware.
And that's when I'm going to get very interested in traffic that's not going into or out of Delaware. Yes, the Lake, so yeah, just a minute until we turn. Camera's still working. This is a wonderful day.
Reaching waypoint.
Yes, 1 minute to waypoint.
Delaware traffic, flight support 178 Charlie Tango. Turning left base, 28, Delaware.
And now these things, you fly nice, big, long, stabilized approaches. So even as we turn, this is final approach, we're still 13 miles away. And how are we doing? Down to 2,900. Still got 10 to go.
Delaware traffic, flight support 178 Charlie Tango. Left crosswind for 28, Delaware.
And I'll make a call at about 6 miles. Double check that radio. 122.7, 122.7. India 74, yep, that's the guy. I made a mistake along those lines over the summer. I was on the wrong frequency. I was off by 1 decimal point. So I got a little more particular about double checking what I do, which is I should have been doing all along. Okay, there's our altitude.
Now you're in traffic, Skyhawk 250.
Now we can look at the plate.
6 miles to the west.
So really, after Cebu, they don't want me, let's see. Oh, after Rico, we can do whatever we want after Rico. And that is a minute away. So that's when we'll start our descent, or more of a descent. I can dial it in right now. I can take it down to...
Delaware traffic, time at 470.
Oh, take it down to about... Oops, that's the wrong button. Okay. Take it down to, what did it say? 18, well, it's 1860. We'll make it 1900. I can't do 60.
Delaware traffic, flight support 178 Charlie Tango. Turning left base, 28, Delaware.
I'm also going to do that at less than 500 foot per minute. I'll do that about 300, because we still got 4 minutes to go.
Reaching waypoint.
Urbana Grimes traffic, experimental 284 Delta Golf is 6 miles to the southwest on a straight-in approach runway 2, Urbana Grimes.
Delaware traffic, Skyhawk 48600 Golf.
All right, there's Rico, so now we go to 1900. What did they call it? They call it, yeah, 1860, so 1900 for me.
Flight support 178 Charlie Tango, short final, 28.
Approaching altitude.
And we want to keep our speed down because I'm going to have to put the flaps down at some point. I want to get a look at this. I don't know. I got about a minute before I have to start really concentrating. Well, more than that now. So that's what the looks like when we're on course. That blue arc, that turquoise arc is where we will be over the ground when we reach our 1900 feet, so that's coming up pretty quick. But you can see how we're right on the line for it. Ignore these diagonal lines. That's the grass runway extended center line. We're actually on the one more to the right. Time to fly.
Green County traffic, Archer 9114 Delta is about 4 miles to the south and will be
all right.
to the downwind for
Camera's still working
45.
against all odds. So we're on about 90 knots along here, so I can drop that extra 8 to 10 knots I need to get the flaps down. So now that we're level, it's going down to 1880. It's actually below altitude. There, it's correcting back. So we're going to hold this right until it looks about right for just our normal glide slope. Actually, we're going to hold it until we're at that warehouse because we're going to want to be fairly close. I don't want to get too low too fast. I'm head towards some trees and such. We only got a couple minutes to go. And around about 90 knots right there. And actually I can go ahead, we're getting to the point where I can go ahead and slow it down to flap speed. So we'll go down to 80.
Delaware traffic, flight support 178 Charlie Tango, entering left downwind, 28, Delaware.
Slowly slowing it down. And I can drop the flaps now. I'm at 82, coming to 80. And at some point I'm just going to kick off the autopilot. That point me right now.
472 Delta Charlie is about 5 to the southwest. We'll be entering the pattern on a 45 downwind for 28 Delaware.
Still Delaware. All right, here come our flaps.
Urbana Grimes traffic, 284 Delta Golf is 2 mile final, runway 2, Urbana Grimes.
Runway 28 Delaware.
Oopsie. I got to keep that crab in there. And right now I'm trying to hold anything less than 80 but greater than 70.
Delta is on downwind for 25, Green County.
Could land on the grass today, I suppose. No real reason to.
Leaving altitude.
Delaware Triangle.
Still working.
178 Charlie Tango.
Must have been a power cord.
28 Delaware.
Nice if they had Massey lights. Oh, they do. It's just the sun. I see them now. Sun's too bright for them. Not like you need them during the day anyway. Actually, not like I need them at all.
Green County traffic, 114 Delta is on left base 25.
Flight support 178 Charlie Tango. Short.
Alright, got to slow her down a little bit now. 75 down final is too much. According to the Vassies, we're low. But they actually take you about 1,000 feet down the runway, and I don't need to do that. Oh, it's choppy down here. That'd be the wind. Wind didn't shift around a whole lot. It's actually still mostly on the nose. Now we're down to 65. Still a bit much, but that's okay. And we're at full idle. Now we're going to flare. Well, eventually flare. We're still pretty quick. Still going pretty quick. There it is. Oop. Kind of dropped it in. And inadequately corrected for, oh, look at that, for the crosswind. Somebody out maintaining something on the taxiway. Nope, not on the taxiway. He's off to the side of it. That's okay too. Camera's still working. I'm amazed. Everybody's happy. I think we can get around this guy easy enough. And we're almost off the runway. I can open the hangar, open the canopy. Certainly won't be doing a go around from here. Well, I think camera problem is partially solved. Maybe entirely, we'll find out later. 9 months. Friendly guy. How bad can his day be? He gets suspended at the airport. Not another airplane here. I don't get it. Oh, they're either preparing for Murphy or Murphy has been and gone and they forgot to take the sign down. I wonder which it is. Murphy, I'm sorry, it's an acronym. Mike Echo Romeo Foxtrot India. It stands for Middle Eastern Regional Fly-In. And it's, I guess, an EAA thing. It's a fly-in. Well, I might as well take the close spot. The only one here. Actually, I'll get it around the corner. I don't like sitting this close to the corner. We'll take this one. All right, that should do it. It ran the whole way. This is great. In case you've ever wondered about Urbana, this is what it's like to walk in. That's not really interesting at all, is it? But there it is. Well, that was a semi-satisfactory breakfast. Their sausage gravy has very little sausage, and they don't brown the flour like when I make mine, so it tastes like flour and water, and a little bit of sausage in there. Mystery has been solved regarding whoever was operating just a few miles east of the airport. It's a crop duster. You saw him go by. It seemed like he was miles away. That's just because of this camera. They have filled his hopper, and he looks like he's getting ready to go, so I'm just going to stay out of his way because these guys typically are in a big-ass hurry and don't really like being held up by anybody. So I'm just going to let him go.
Temperature 20 Celsius. Dew point 11. Altimeter 295.
All right. Up it goes again. And here comes the crop duster right on cue. So he'll get in front of us. He'll be gone in no time at all.
Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 1453. Zulu weather wind 320
right.
at 6 visibility 10.
Pretty much the way it was when we left, or when we got here. So we'll just follow this guy out. Like I said, he won't take long at all. He'll get out to the runway and just go. They got only so much light in a day, and they got work to do. So I fully understand why they're very, very efficient. They can be rude. This guy gave me a nice wave, kind of thanking me for waiting for him, I suspect. I mean, it took, I thought, well, he's going to be a while filling up the hopper. That took like a minute. It was very, very fast. So, as I was saying, the breakfast was, I wasn't super hungry for breakfast. I didn't want a $10 omelet, so I got a $5 plate of sausage and gravy. The biscuits were okay. They were Pillsbury. The sausage gravy I can do better at home, but it was $5, and really I just needed a reason to sit there. I was just renting a seat for, well, actually $7 after I ate in the coffee, which I think is low-grade Folgers. Not a big fan of the coffee either. All in all, Portsmouth is a much better place for eating. This is a much better place for just a short hop, you know, just to do some flying and have a little break between flights and fly back. So it's a nice morning. I'm not too all that upset about. I have perfectly fine.
Urbana ground traffic, Sky Accept 34 Uniform Lima, 5 miles out to the east. We're going to be overflying the field 3000. Future up, enter left, down 1, runway 2, Urbana.
Okay, so 5 miles east. He's got a ways to get here. There goes the
action out onto 02 Urbana
goes
Grimes. And going to depart, working about 3 miles east of the airport, low level, Urbana Grimes.
Okay, he will be.
Out for the traffic at Urbana.
We will also be turning out to the east, although it's mostly southeast. So we're definitely, he's going to be down low. Probably not an issue at all, but we'll keep an eye out for him. It's good to know he's there. The other guy that's coming in is also coming in from the east. He's going to cross over and land on the runway that we're going to depart on. He was still 5 miles out, but by the time I'm ready for takeoff, he may be doing his crossover, which is not going to be any kind of problem at all for us on departure. Unless I get out there too soon and I'm coming right at him as he's coming in, but he's only 5 miles out, so I don't really think it's an issue. Just something to be aware of. You like to know what's flying around you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. All right, we're all latched in. It's cool enough that I don't need to have that open, so I don't have to worry about the canopy latch. We'll do a quick run up. This is basically a mag check. Everything should be fine, but, you know, do like to know. Plus, we got to wait for that other guy to get. We kind of want to wait.
Traffic, Sky Accept 34 Uniform Lima, 2.5 miles out to the east. We got the air tractor in sight, no factor.
All right, 2.5 miles is no big deal. He'll be over us in a minute, and that gives me time to do this run up. Okay, so we're latched again. We're latched. Might as well put in a destination, direct to, recent, TZR, direct to. There we go. I could have shown you how to do that, but that's pretty doggone simple. So I'm not going to take any time showing you how to do that. Everybody knows how to do direct to. Turn off this little camera because I don't think I'm going to need it. We're just heading straight back. All right, let's get this done. And still don't hear that. He had 1.5 miles or 2.5 to go. Yeah, it's 2.5 to go. So probably another minute. I don't think I'm going to see him on my traffic. Nope, not on the traffic. We'll just watch for him.
And Urbana ground traffic, Sky 74 Uniform Lima, overflying the field, 3000.
Oh, we'll stay under him.
Left downwind, runway 2.
Real easy to stay under him.
Urbana ground traffic, experimental 284 to the golf, departing runway 02, departing to the southeast, looking for the traffic overhead.
But we will be under him. If he's at still at 3,000 feet. There he is. Got him in sight, right over top of us, so no factor at all. Nose is up in a big ass hurry. Oh, there's a crosswind. There we go. Correct. There we go. Now we got to worry about the pop duster dude. But they generally don't, like I said, generally don't go very high. They're down on the very, very top of the crops. And they do a kind of a big swooping turn, but that can't go more than 100, 200 feet. So I'm not overly worried about him. Oh, he finally showed up on the scope. I guess my antenna wasn't up high enough to pick up, because I got to pick it up from Port Columbus. So there's that guy that just flew over. So I'll go ahead and make our turn.
Richmond traffic, Skyhawk 98561, downwind, runway 33, Richmond traffic.
Urbana ground traffic, 4 Delta Golf, departing to the southeast.
Traffic.
There he is. Oh, that might be me.
Urbana ground traffic, 74 Uniform Lima, circling to enter the left downwind. We'll keep an eye out for that experimental traffic. We're really well off to the southeast now. Okay, sounds good. Have a good one.
Hello, traffic, go to 8328 Charlie, 6 miles to the northwest at 2000 feet.
Alright, let's reset our direct 2. And we will let the autopilot have some fun.
Autopilot.
And let's go ahead and get a decent altitude set in. We'll let it do that too, why not? 3,000 will do it. So there's altitude and up. And we got 600 foot per minute, that'll work. No sign at all of the, kind of looking for the crop duster. That might be him right there. But we're actually way high, way over where he would be.
Approaching.
Was used more or less out of curiosity to look for him.
Greene County helicopter 206 off of Charlie, about a 3-mile final for refuel, Greene County.
Urbana ground 4 Uniform Lima, left downwind, runway 2.
And I'm going to suggest that I just can't fly home.
5 Whiskey's on a 5-mile final on the RNAV runway 25, Greene County, looking for the helicopter. Roger, we're not a factor, we're about a 1.5 mile final for refuel. Copy, thank you.
Alrighty. We can go ahead and start getting our bolt numbers in. So that's, first one is 128.1. They haven't got a Unicom, so, or I'm sorry, they haven't got a weather reporting, so I won't be able to do anything about that. Here's my 3,000 feet that I wanted, so go ahead and stay at $3 grand. Now, I am hand flying, but to be full disclosure, I do have an altitude and a nav destination set in, so I'm actually flying to the, I'll turn this on for you. I'm flying to the flight director, so I'm still letting the autopilot decide what and when. I'm just doing the actual motions that make the pieces work, which is all flight director really does. It tells you what the autopilot would be doing if the autopilot was engaged.
Hey, Urbana 4 Uniform Lima, rolling into final runway 2.
That's enough out of those guys. Let's go to 121.8 for the ground when we're ready for that. Okay, here we go. So now you can see, as soon as I push this button, if I can push the button, it's a little bit choppy all of a sudden. Oh, we're back to time-lapse video, pardon my French. God, I'm having trouble controlling my French. Video, thank you. Big quad. Alright. I am now recording. Okay, so that purple thing, those purple little triangles, or whatever they are, those are the flight director, and as long as I keep the yellow nestled up underneath the purple, we will be on altitude and heading. Now see how I'm above the altitude, it's trying to get me to go back down. I'm going to want to throttle back a little bit to do that. And I need to trim it down a little bit. See, we're a little bit high, so it's taking me back down to 3,000. There we go. go. I'm kind of splitting the difference between looking at that and looking out the window because there's other airplanes out here. There we go. So all I got to do is follow those little purple, whatever they are.
028 Juliet.
All right, you kind of get the idea. Something's happening.
028 Juliet, crushing Bone Tower.
Good morning. We're 7 miles to the north, landing at Bolton.
All right, that'll happen long before I get there. We're
2-mile final, runway, crushing 40 midfield.
We're 12 miles out.
Runway 4, wind 340, 10, altimeter 2994.
Now we're on runway 4. The winds have changed. Interesting.
028 Juliet, Roger. We'll call midfield right downwind for runway 4. We'll just cross right over top of it.
All right, so we'll get a midfield left downwind for 4.
You're more north, aren't you? You can just go ahead and report midfield left downwind, runway 4 for 28 Juliet.
Okay, that's 28 Juliet. I'm just crossing 70 now, southbound.
For midfield left downwind.
All right.
Roger, we'll call.
We got traffic 400 feet below, but that's on a 12-mile scale. He's about 4.5 miles going to pass behind us. I can turn that on, I guess. It's smoothed out a little bit. This is what it looks like when I talk about having traffic. So I'm in a 5-mile range. He's about a little bit inside that. I estimate that as 4.5, and his direction arrow is going to put him behind us. We get the weather here on the info. All right, altimeter 299.4. Well, okay. Back to that. Winds 330 at 9, gusting 15. 330, I'm going to be on runway 4, so that's going to be almost a direct crosswind. So 9 gusting 16 direct crosswind. You got that to look forward to. Smooth again. Last smooth all of a sudden. I keep jinxing it. I need to shut up about it. Let's add that to the list of many, many things that I should shut up about. Speaking of politics. Cooking right along, we have a tailwind now. I guess I should mention that. We're indicating our true is 104 and we've got 119 across the ground, so, well, it's not 115. So we got a 15-knot tailwind, so doing 120 knots across the ground, which is about 138 miles per hour in muggle miles. That's pretty quick. Not even 4,800 RPM, so not even anywhere near red line. Let's see what we can get out of it just for fun. It's nice and smooth now again.
Alpha 3, taxi, it'll probably be a taxi by Alpha Charlie to the ramp.
See how fast we can go now that it's smooth.
Alpha 3 to
133, 134. Getting right up the red line. 135, 136. 136. 136 is not bad. Go back down around 5K. There we go. 136 knots. Still doing 130. That's pretty good. Pretty doggone good. On 5 gallons per hour. I've talked about this flight director before. The logic for the flight director is built into the Skyview the day you buy it. But it doesn't work unless you buy the optional autopilot servos. And honestly, if I have autopilot servos, I don't really use the flight director. The autopilot's doing what the autopilot does. I find that if I'm hand flying, that it is much, much easier to act as if I have the autopilot, put in my nav heading, put on my altitude heading, or altitude, desired altitude, and just fly to those purple bars. Just hand flying is very, very easy if I'm not having to go look at the compass, airspeed, vertical speed, all that stuff. All I got to do is glance down now and again and get that yellow up against the purple, and I'm on course and I'm on altitude. And it's a huge workload reduction thing. But Dynan will not give you those autopilot or the flight director bars unless you pay the $1,500 for the servos. And I don't understand why. I mean, the first thing that's going to happen is if you're flying by the flight director, you're learning how to use the autopilot because it's the same set of controls to get it to do what you want it to do. And eventually you're going to say, you know what, now that I know how to use this, I really wouldn't mind having those servos so I can just turn the thing on and let it fly the airplane. I mean, to me, it seems like a free sample of why you would buy an autopilot or why you would buy the autopilot servos. And when you consider an equivalent autopilot in a store-bought plane would be $15,000 to $20,000 at least, it's a bargain. $1,500 autopilot. I don't get it. But I don't run the business, and the guy that does run the business, I think, is extraordinarily customer friendly. I think he deliberately keeps prices as affordable as possible. He's very personable to talk to. He is what sets the tone for their service department, which is an excellent, excellent service department. So he must have a good reason. I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I've met him and I like him. So there must be a reason I'm just not aware of. All right, we're 8 miles out. I'm gonna have to give these guys a holler here in a couple miles. So this is the approach phase where things get a little busy. I'm going to get cleared for a midfield left downrun runway 4. I already know that, so it should be pretty straightforward. I just need to not forget to do it. We're going so much faster than usual, and it's happening much, much faster. So that can sometimes catch up with you. You think, well, we can't possibly be there yet. You flew right over the airport. Quite embarrassing.
Tower, experimental 284 Delta Golf is 7 miles northwest, inbound landing.
Experimental 284 Delta Golf on tower, port midfield left downwind runway 4, wind 340 at 8, altimeter is 2994.
Report midfield left downwind, runway 4 Delta Golf.
You know, I went all the way down to Houston and never once talked to air traffic control. So I'm not so rusty at the flying, but I'm pretty rusty at the radio stuff. All right, well, we're going to go down into the bouncy bumps, but we're going to have to do it eventually. So down we go. I could just as easily do this with the flight director. I can take this down to pattern altitude, about 1800. 1800 is what I like. What do they actually call? Oops, that's not what I want. 1704. So I can round up to 1800 or I can round down to 1700. That 4 feet being the problem. They're going to be looking for me. They're really going to be looking for me at 1700, not 1800. So we'll actually do 1700. And I'll just scotch 4 extra feet on there, 4 out of 1,000, so 0.4% error there. Not really detectable from the ground or from the air, to be honest. Need a little more air. It's hot down here. Hotter. It's actually 64 degrees out there. It's just hot in here because I'm in the sun. There's 1980, 1960. We'll start leveling off. I should just be able to level off and coast into pattern speed. Looking for the bison. I don't think they have the bison this year. Oh well. There's 18. We'll just level here. Or get more level here and let it slow down to our pattern speed. There's 17. That's what we wanted. And there's almost down to flap speed already, so that's working out perfectly well. We're at 1720, which is pretty close to 1704. We're at 80 knots, and we're coming up on our downwind, midfield downwind.
All tower 4 Delta Golf is midfield left downwind, runway 4.
Experimental 4 Delta Golf, runway 4, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 4 Delta Golf.
Alright, we got some wind. It's going to be, okay, I'm too close to the runway right now. Because we've got a really healthy wind that's blowing us closer. It's from the right to left. Leaving me very little room to make a base leg. So I'm going to get back out here a little bit more so that I can fly a base leg. Because I'm going to have a tailwind. I'm going to have a huge tailwind, not huge, well, 19 knots. I'm going to have a huge, huge-ish, almost huge tailwind when I'm in the left base. So I'm going to get out here a little bit further. And that should do it. There's 65, that's good. We'll let the nose start coming down. We got plenty of runway, we're not going to land on the numbers, so I'm not going to let it, get way, way, way down. And I do have to, I'm just going to continue right on in, basically into our final, because we're already cleared to land, and because of the wind. It's really scooting us along now. So I have to start that turn a lot earlier than I normally would. Oh, beautiful looking downtown. Yeah, it's just carrying us on in. That should do it. And down we go. Right rudder and left downwind, downwing, downwind, downwing, and here we go. And the wind suddenly drops to nothing. Oh, big lift there, big lift. Come on, come on. There we go. Oh, there we go. And not good, not terrible. Left Alpha 3 available.
4 Delta Golf, turn left Alpha 3. Taxi to parking via taxiway, Alpha Charlie to the ramp, monoground 121.8.
Left on Alpha 3, Alpha Charlie to ramp, monoground 0.84, Delta Golf.
Sounded about right, didn't it? All right. Risk of going around is no longer, so let's get some air in here. There we go. Let's go over to ground on 0.8. Go. And camera is still running. Unbelievable. I've never had it run that long before. Must have been the power cord. All right, well, it wasn't a very interesting flight for you, and wasn't a super great breakfast for me, so thanks for riding along anyway.
I didn't figure out how to get entirely rid of the fisheye, which, I can live with anyway, but there's a little bit of an adjustment. This is actually zoomed in. This is not the default. If I zoom out, that's the default, and that's what we've been seeing in the airplane, and that's great for panel shots and things like that. But scenery off to the side, like hey, look at that, that's my old dog. I want to be able to zoom in at least a little bit. So it's not a lot, but it takes some of that fisheye quality away from it, and you still have a fairly decent wide field of view. So this is how I'm going to try it next time in the airplane.